Circle, Swati here, the embodied Dharma coach. Let's talk the fiery transits of 2026 and how things are going this month. As we begin the new year, January is already heating up and, of course, bringing intense fire, change, and transformation with it. And today, in fact, is Makara Sankranti, which is the return of the light as Sun enters Capricorn. And this is the point in the first part of the year where I always feel like there is a little more energy returning. And that's because the sun starts to strengthen at this time of year. Now, of course, in the Vedic calendar, we haven't even gotten to the new year yet. That won't come for another few months. But in the Gregorian calendar, we consider this a new year, right? And it's important to understand the markers of time, and we can create a muhurta for anything. This is a starting point for anything, and understand what the qualities and the elements are for starting anything. So starting this year, this Gregorian New Year, was really interesting because, of course, it started on a Rohini moon day, which is quite nourishing, in fact. But right after that, just days after, we had an Ardra full moon, a full moon in Ardra Nakshatra, which is Rudra energy, storm god energy. And this stormy energy can be used in a variety of ways. A lot can happen with storms. Notice how nature operates. Notice how she brings her storms. It's clearing. It's movement of energy. And that's how this new year has begun. And the intention, the qualities, the elements of this January cycle and how we move into, I have one of my huskies joining me right now. Kind of like this, big energy. And January's beginning with big energy, and this quality of fire and intensity continues for the next few months as we move into June and even beyond. There are some really interesting transits this year. I want to just give you a few elements to be looking out for over the coming months so that you can prepare. And of course, Jyotish Vedic astrology is all about prevention and aligning with the laws of nature so that we can be in greater harmony with natural law and nature. And so we use Jyotish as a way to prevent the dangers that haven't come. Hayam, Dukam, Anagatam. And this prevention it's a way to, of course, mitigate the challenges as much as we can. Now, we can't get rid of all challenges. We can't prevent all dangers and all harm, but we can know what is coming so we can utilize best practice, right? And be in more harmony. And that's really the intention of my transits and my embodied Jyotish work, is to support you in finding more harmony and right relationship with the laws of nature, both how these transits, the macrocosm, is impacting your body, and also the understanding that the microcosm is influenced by the macrocosm. The macrocosm is influenced by the microcosm. It's both. Okay, so let's dive in and take a look at this. We're halfway through the month of January, and already there's been an intensity and a heat. The element that you need to understand for January and the coming months, this is through May and June, is fire. So the fire element is active because the sun is scorching everything in its path. And right now we have sun moving into Capricorn. So today, Makara Sankranti is the beginning of sun moving into Capricorn. But we have Mercury, Venus, and Mars tracking the sun very closely, even in exact conjunction through Capricorn. They've just done this through Sagittarius into Capricorn now, then into Aquarius where they'll meet Rahu, and then this energy will start to dissipate in Pisces where Saturn is. And there are some complications that are coming with these transits, and you need to know what part of the body, what part of your Jyotish chart is being impacted by these transits. This is the importance of an embodied approach to Vedic astrology. Where is Sagittarius in your Jyotish chart? What body parts are being impacted? This energy is now moving into Capricorn. You need to know where this heat, this fire, is impacting this part of your body and this part of your life and your chart. So know where Capricorn is. And then, of course, this big ball of fire, this bonfire energy, is going into Aquarius next. Again, know where Aquarius lives in your body, in your Jyotish chart, and what body parts, what parts of your life are being impacted by this fire that's moving into Aquarius next, where Rahu is. And Rahu intensifies. So we're going to see the fire intensify in March. And then, February, March, okay? And then we see this fire start to dissipate and go into Pisces, where Saturn is. Now, the interesting thing is that Mercury, Mars, and Venus will have to pass through Rahu, move towards Saturn, and that is a challenging dynamic. Any planet that's sandwiched in between difficult or challenging planets, Rahu being one, Saturn being one, it's like extra pressure, extra squeezing going on. And the intensification of the fire will be felt as a result. So you also need to know where that junction point is in your body and your Jyotish chart. We can use the Jyotish chart to understand what's happening in the body, what's happening in your life, what areas of life will be impacted. And this is that Aquarius into Pisces junction point. Okay. Now, to top all of this off, while this intensity is happening, February into March, we have an eclipse cycle. So, eclipse season is coming, the first of the year, first eclipse cycle of the year, and we also have a Kalasarpa yoga that is intensifying this fire element. So again, you need to understand this area of your chart from Sagittarius to Pisces. This is where the most impact is going to be, where this intensity, this fire, the element of scorching, what the sun actually does is purify, and he purifies through burning. He purifies through fire. Ultimately, this fire supports the alchemy or changing form. One thing is transformed into another. The power that comes with this fire element can create radical change, big, dramatic changes. And so a lot can happen in a short amount of time. And this is particularly January into May and even June. So understanding that big life changes are taking place over the coming months because of this sun fire element and the way that he is scorching, burning Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Mars is already hot, so we have extra heat when Sun and Mars conjunct. And combustion is when Sun is within the 10 to 12 degree range of any planet. And we'll see Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Venus in exact degrees on and off over the coming months. So this isn't like proximity heat, like, good, I'm feeling the heat way over there. This is Sun on top of these planets. Literally, I mean, imagine being that close to the sun. It will scorch. These body parts, Sagittarius into Pisces, are the body parts that will be feeling the heat. This is inflammation. This is challenges with heat in the body. Could be everything from acid reflux to, very serious disease that comes through heat and fire. This impacts the blood, it impacts the bone marrow, and it impacts anger and the emotion of aggression and even violence. And so my concern collectively over the coming months is, of course, seeing an increase in violence, aggression, war, killing, the things that we see with Mars and Sun particularly. Venus being relationships and women, these are the elements that are going to be feeling the most heat, Sun being the masculine. So there is a real contentious battle taking place between the masculine and the feminine, water and fire, over the coming months. And we're already seeing that, especially here in the US, but also Iran. This women are rising up, the people are rising up and pushing back against the violence of the regime and the government, which is very patriarchal. So we're going to see patriarchal heat. We're going to see that intensify. We're also going to be seeing the pushback and the resistance to that and the violence that comes when change takes place and when transformation of power takes place. And this is a very uncomfortable time. There is absolutely no doubt about that. It's aggressive. It's warring. These are the qualities that we see over the coming months with these transits. It is not a calm time. It's not a peaceful, gentle time. It is, in fact, a violent and very powerful time. And it depends on how we use our power. This is really the question for all of us to be asking ourselves, because purification can be dharmic in nature. But how do you use your power? And what is your relationship with power? How to be in right relationship with your power? And in times like this, where things feel very overwhelming, out of control, the grief is so palpable, I have to remind myself that Dharma is the only answer, that Dharma is the way. And if we each stay connected to our dharmic work, this is where our greatest power resides. This is where you can offer change. This is where your gifts, your wisdom, your medicine matter and can support healing and transformation, both for you, your lineage, and the collective. Sharing your gifts and wisdom, sharing your dharmic work, this is your only duty. This is your one duty. This is it. So let's stay focused and centered on what truly matters. And the only thing we actually have control over is, of course, staying connected and aligned with our dharmic duty. And this is what, of course, Arjuna reminds us on the battlefield in the Bhagavad Gita, that it is Dharma, that's it. That's the only truth. So as the sun purifies, we're going to start to see this truth more and more illuminated, that there is one truth. This Dharma is the answer for you on this path and this life. There's really no other option. There's no plan B. There's no, I wish I didn't have to do this Dharma thing and I could find another intention for this life. There really isn't anything else other than your Dharma and fulfilling the Dharma of you and your lineage. So I just want to invite you to come back to this truth and this power that you carry, which is your Dharma. This is your duty. And that's where your greatest power resides. And I think that if we're walking a dharmic path over the coming months, we're going to start to see the refinement and embody the refinement and feel the refinement of our Dharma really intensify. And that all that is a distraction, all that is adharmic will burn away. And we'll start to get very clear on the path. The path will be illuminated. Now, that said, it doesn't mean that this will be easy, gentle, or comfortable. That this process is, in fact, very heated, very intense, and it can be overwhelming at times. And so we need to stay close to our bodies and our Dharmic work. If you need help with that clarity and that support for your Dharma, your Dharmic duty, your ancestral duty, comment Dharma below. I'll follow up with you. I have some wonderful classes coming up soon that will support you in this. We need to stay clear and focused on the path and what we're moving towards. What is the truth? What is the best use of your time, energy, and power? And of course, sun is your power. Sun is your power source. Sun is our power source, right? In this solar system, without the sun, there would be no life. So he's scorching everything in his path from Sagittarius into Pisces. And you need to know where in your body, where in your life this is impacting you. What is going to be burned? What is going to be incinerated? What is going to be purified over the coming months? Remember that eclipse cycles intensify whatever shadow work we have not been seeing clearly. And so over the 2-week eclipse cycle, and then of course, it's really 1 to 2 months on either side, plus some, where the intensification begins. So we're already in the window because the eclipse cycle begins in mid-February and ends March 2nd. Okay, starts with a solar eclipse, ends with a lunar eclipse. And so we're already starting to notice what is the message of this eclipse cycle. What's intensifying in my life right now? Pay attention. And it has to do with power, because when an eclipse cycle starts with a solar eclipse, it's always about masculine power and our relationship with power. And these are questions you should be asking right now. What is my relationship to power? What is my relationship to my Dharmic power? My one-pointed focus? How am I using my life force energy? Because I'm telling you right now, whatever you're doing, if it is not in alignment with Dharma, if you are not in right relationship with your true power, which is your Dharma, it will not make it through this incineration. You will have to make some changes. All of us will be going through massive changes over the next few months, and it will impact relationships, Venus. It will impact your body, which is sun. It will impact your Dharmic duty and the clarity you have around your Dharmic duty, which is also the sun. It will impact your action, your focus, your goals, Mars. And it will impact your mind and your nervous system and your money and your creativity, which is Mercury. These are big changes that all of us will be experiencing over the next few months as this heat intensifies, as the purification intensifies with the sun, as we go through this eclipse cycle, as the planets get hemmed in by the malefics, Rahu and Saturn. All of these elements of your body and your life go through these changes, the intensification, the Kalasarpa Yoga, which further intensifies the themes and the qualities of this cycle. And this won't complete until June and into July. So just know that for the first half of the year, big changes, big purification, big work with power, the masculine. We will see the feminine rising. We will see the divine feminine sharing her wrath. And we will have to rebalance. We will have to find a rebalancing of some sort in this process. It is Kali Yuga. So, will we see the finale? No, because we're in Kali Yuga, right? But we have to trust that Dharma is the way and Dharma is the answer. And your job in this process is to refine, strengthen, clarify, awaken your Dharmic power. That is it. That's the only truth. Whether you know what Dharma is or not, this is the truth. And it's certainly the truth of our times as we go through this very dark time of Kali Yuga. And so this is my reminder to you. One pointed focus. Anything that does not support your Dharma, anything that distracts you, anything that is adharmic, it's got to go. Get rid of it. Burn it. Clear it. Purify it. It's not welcome moving forward with you. So get clear and start to notice what is naturally starting to burn away on its own. A big part of this is relationships. There will be relationships that you cannot keep walking with. And you need to let it go, let it burn, let it finish itself out. Close it. Cut, clear, delete. And same with how you make money. Where are you not in right relationship with your nourishment? Through money. How we make our money matters. How we receive our nourishment matters. If you're making money in adharmic ways, you got to stop that. That is not the way of the future. That is not the way of your Dharmic path. You can't afford to keep making money in ways that cause harm to yourself and others. So if you're not making money through your Dharma, you've got to change something. And this is very important for the transformation of our times, how you make your money. This is Mercury. And then, of course, how are you in relationship with your body? Because your body is the ultimate vehicle of your Dharma. And so if you are hurting your body, harming your body to make money, or being in a relationship, we're seeing a lot of women wake up to this right now, that men are harming them, right? You have to listen to your body and put your body first. That is your Dharma. Body first, body first. So all of these are the elements that are getting purified, clarified at this. I consider this a very sacred time. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Is it painful? Absolutely. Is it going to require effort? No doubt about it. But when it comes to Dharma, there is no other option, right? So stay connected to the truth. Now, Jupiter, who is the planet of Dharma, right? The guru. He is going through an interesting change and transformation this year as well. And this is the other major transit to really understand over the course of the year, because we don't have a lot of major transits taking place, meaning the slower moving planets, not until the end of the year. So Jupiter is our big slow-moving planet that's doing some big changes this year. Now, he's already retrograded back into Gemini. So here we are again. We've done a lot of Jupiter in Gemini over the last year in 2025. We got a quick little taste of Jupiter exalted in Cancer the month of October. So if you can recall what happened in October for you, there was a softening effect. There was a little more hope. There was a little more expansion and more resources, right? Well, we will see that trend continue as Jupiter goes into Cancer for a nice long 5 months, and we will see some really interesting expansion come with this. And at the same time, there will be a necessary pruning taking place, right? Whatever doesn't support the nourishment will not be allowed to move forward with you. And Jupiter is very clear with that. Your natal relationship with Jupiter is essential for your Dharmic path, the kind of resources that you attract for your Dharma, even being able to fulfill your Dharma in this lifetime, because the quality of natal Jupiter determines what kind of knowledge and wisdom and teachers and gurus do I attract. Are they sattvic? Are they supportive? Are they helpful? Are they bringing resources, expansion, nourishment? Or is it the opposite? And sometimes we have to learn through the rajasic, the tamasic, the aggressive, the unkind, the violent. And this is part of nature. You know, she's not always gentle and kind. She's actually quite intense. A lot of the elements of nature are quite intense and cutting. And Jupiter can be that way too. So he brings many different qualities with him. This year, we see a gentler, more expansive expression of Jupiter coming. And this happens middle of the year. So in June, he returns to his exaltation sign Cancer, and he gains strength. And this is very important for your Dharmic work. Pay attention as June arrives and through the end of the year, because you will have more support for your Dharmic work, and your gifts can expand and be supported. And so we don't want to miss this opportunity, right? Don't sit on the couch eating chips when this cycle won't come again for another 12 years. Your Dharma requires some very conscious effort this year. And so pay attention to the support arriving and be proactive in your Dharmic work. July is when the Kalasarpa Yoga breaks, and Venus enters Leo, falls out of the tail of Ketu, and we start to have a sense of more spaciousness, understanding. And it's the second half of the year where you'll be digesting and integrating what happened in the first part of the year. There's so much happening from now until June that we won't be able to process and digest everything. We'll need time. We'll need these transits to calm down. And we'll need some integration time. And that's what comes in the latter half of the year. Now, the sun, of course, keeps moving through the chart, bringing heat with him. But we won't have the combustion of multiple planets in, 5 planets in a sign all at once, and the heat will dissipate, but we still have cleanup to do. So pay attention to how you need to heal, transform, integrate all the purification and the fire that occurred earlier in the year. Now, Sun will jump into Leo. It's a quick transit of exaltation. Typically, Jupiter transits are a year long. But in this case, he's going to have this short jump into exaltation. He moves then into Leo, and then he'll retrograde back into Cancer in 2027. So Jupiter is moving into Leo, where he will hit Ketu. And this is a big change for those of us on a Dharmic path. Those of us who share our Dharmic wisdom and our gifts, this is the change. Being aware that more change is coming for the way that you share your gifts and wisdom, the way that you teach, the way that you offer your knowledge and wisdom. And this is not a bad thing. I love K2 for so many reasons. He may bring loss and death, and trauma and things that are very hard as humans. But he also brings the absolute clarity of what's important for our soul. And that's the clarity that's coming for you later this year. Jupiter, K2 conjunction will bring a precision, a clarity, an awakening to your Dharmic work and the knowledge and the wisdom that you share and encounter on your path. So pay attention to this powerful awakening that's coming. And it has to do collectively and on the individual level with power and the masculine, right? This is Leo and ruled by the sun. This is a big theme for this year. And we will see changes coming with the masculine and those in power positions and those in charge. This is also about how we use our power on an individual level. I feel strongly, and I'm noticing that we are waking up from the collective haze of patriarchy, misogyny, and even colonization. That we are starting to, many of us are uprooting and untangling the ways in which we are not in right relationship with power. We are not in right relationship with our own power. And also remember that the masculine, your father and his lineage, is the seed of Dharma that is planted. Your Dharma is given to you by the father, by the masculine, by your father's lineage. So we need the collective awakening around the masculine. We need the healing with the masculine in order for Dharma to be awakened and for us to really acknowledge the power of our own Dharma. And I think many of us will be doing that this year very specifically. So just know that this theme is developing over the coming months, and certainly this is the theme for the year for all of us in so many ways. Jupiter goes into Leo October 30th, and that's when he hits K2. Okay, he'll collide with K2. Very end of October. And that is that powerful combination of restructuring that's coming with Jupiter and our Dharmic power source. So big changes, big themes. Again, power, fire, Dharma, awakening from the misuse of power, where we're not in right relationship with our power. That's the individual work. It's very Dharmic. On a collective level, this can be dangerous. I am concerned. Certainly, there's many reasons to be concerned. I think that on the individual level, we need to be very mindful how we're using our power, how we're taking care of our bodies, and of course, Dharma. Back to Dharma. And body first, right? Body first. So, body first, and keep letting go, purifying, and noticing what is supporting my Dharma, what is not. If this is adharmic, it must go. And this is about how you make your money, the types of relationships you allow in your life, how your relationships impact your body and your power, and of course, Dharma first, right? Now, if you want my transits and my horoscopes for 2026, if you want to know how your rising sign is impacted by these transits, go ahead and type transits into the comments and I'll send you the link for that. And if you need more personalized guidance and support for your Dharmic path and your purpose, and you want to be in right relationship with your ancestral contract to live the purpose of your lineage, to awaken your lineage gifts, your lineage power through your Dharma, then please comment Dharma below. I have new classes starting next month for those of you who want to enliven your Dharmic path this year and to share your Dharmic gifts and wisdom in a way that brings nourishment, support, and prosperity. And of course, how we make our money is so important, especially right now. And so all of that is coming. We'll get you into the process, and it's both private support, group support, and self-study. And comment Dharma below if you'd like more personalized guidance and support with your Dharmic path this year. And you already know, this is my year. We're making it happen. There is no other way. Go ahead and type Dharma below, and I'll follow up with you with next steps, and we'll have a chat. All right, everyone. Whew, so much happening. And stay close to your body at this time. Very important that we keep taking care of our bodies, our nervous systems. Feel the grief. You must feel to heal. We also need to take care of our nervous systems, our bodies, and do what you know to do. Dharma is the way. It is the best use of your power, the best use of your energy. There's only one solution for you, and that is fulfilling your Dharmic duty. That's it. And if each one of us do that, imagine the ripple effect. And we might think that our gifts and our wisdom are so insignificant. What can I actually do? But imagine the impact of individuals, many individuals collectively, all sharing our gifts and wisdom simultaneously. And if you are a healer, if you are a guide, if you are a wisdom worker, your gifts and wisdom are needed now more than ever. So we can't afford to get stuck in our adharma and the mindsets of I'm not significant, I don't matter, my gifts don't matter. That is a misuse of your power. And I just want to remind you of the importance of your Dharma, your Dharmic gifts and wisdom, and your power. That is the only thing that matters, in fact. So, stay close to your Dharma, stay close to your power, your purpose, your truth, and I will see you hopefully in session very soon. And many blessings to you and your ancestors at this powerful time, this incredibly powerful time. Take care, everyone. Bye.